Alright, welcome to episode 5 of Destination Duna with me, your host, 3 Martini Launch. We've got a lot going in today, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. First on the docket here is waiting for that increased load time. And eventually I'm sure it's going to let us into the game. Da-da-da-da-da. Oop, I hear the birds chirping. And come on, there we go. I'm going to show you the ship I'm going to be launching this time out, although this is going to be one of the last things I do. I might break this into 2 episodes. We're going to see how that goes. We've got, what is it that I'm, the fuel modules for my space stations. So it'll come up here any second now, and we can take a look. Come on, fuel modules, okay. First, let's take this off. And again, you can see this is way heavier than I'm allowed, but I'm going to be draining the fuel out of all of these. You can see I've got 4 different modules here. Each one is made out of one of those, Rockamax 64, 32, Rockamax 32. And they have some of those new larger side-mounted RCS. They got that landing gear, their little docking port. I almost put some of these little radial mounted here Rockamax 2477s on there. That would have given them enough oomph to land on, at least to take off from Minmus. Take off from Minmus under their own power. I ultimately went against it, thinking I'm going to be burning up the fuel in here. Ultimately, it probably would have been more efficient. But anyways, the docking port on here so the quadrupus can mount on, drop them down on Minmus. They can fill up. He can bring them back up. And, somebody can push them back and forth between Minmus and Kerbin. The idea is, say bring a full one back to Kerbin and, take the empty one back to Minmus or what have you. So I got one for Kerbin, one for Minmus, one for Duna, and one for Ike. Now, obviously the ones on Kerbin and Duna aren't going to be landing. But like I said, I can shuttle them back and forth, bring the full one in, take an empty one back out to the mining area. And plus it was easy just to standardize them all. Again, we're way too heavy. I'll be dumping a lot of fuel out on the runway. I actually did the exact math. I've got to get the launch vehicle down to 178.37 tons. That'll give me exactly 25 tons of launch. And man, that is one tall drink of water. That's as far as I can zoom. That is one tall drink of water. So I should be able to get that puppy up there. Again, all these fuel tanks are going to be empty. So that's going to be a 25-ton payload going up. Actually, I'm going to have a little bit of fuel left in one because I don't have to quite get rid of all the fuel. I'm not sure how I'm going to balance that. I guess I can do the math or whatever to find out. Anyways, let's get this puppy on the launch pad. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, here we are on the launch pad. And of course, I can't launch right away. I gotta wait about 50 days. Anyways, here's that tall order ship that I've been working on. I'm gonna empty out not quite all of the fuel. I think I've got to get down to should have had my notes already on the right page. Got to get down to 178.37. So as long as it be below that, I think I'll be good to go. And I think I'm going to fall well below it. Anyways, we're looking here at a special bonus episode of Destination Duna. It's going to be a little over 30 minutes. I'll be celebrating more than 100 views and 3 subscribers. Anyways, here we are back on Minmus. We've got the quadrupus is gotten all fueled up from the mining rig, and I think we're going to go ahead and retract those solar panels and get that puppy off the planet. Then again, I've got looks like another 47 days I've got to wait before I can launch the fuel modules for the space stations. Anyways, here comes the launch coming up. Yep, moving in there pretty well. It was, like I said, I'm very proud to have those 3 subscribers. Thank you very much. One of the people had the names. The other 2 people were private. I'm going to maintain the other person's privacy as well. But thank you all very much. This episode is dedicated to you. This super bonus double episode. Episode 5. So, what am I doing here? Oh, that's right. Circularizing my orbit. I'm going to go ahead and rendezvous with the Selene Station. The quadrupus is full of fuel. I'm going to go ahead and transfer that fuel to the pusher vehicle that pushed it up. Here I am docking. I went ahead, I did a lot of edits. I had like 3 or 4 hours worth of video for this one, and I had to edit it down as much as possible. There are a number of edits, and you may see me quick saving now and again. However, this all happened it didn't happen all one run all the way through. I mean, but there were no reloads. I would do an hour or so there, and then go to work, for example, and then come home and do the rest. Here I am docking with the Selene Station with the quadrupus, and I'll there we go. Go ahead and transfer that fuel over, fill up that pusher. I think I'm just going to rename it Pusher 1. Might have been Pusher 2. Anyways, it's going to be a pusher. It's going to push those four fuel modules you saw, push them out to a Minmus orbit. Anyways, I did do a number of edits to get this down to 30 minutes, and it was pretty aggressive. I think I cut out most of the boring stuff. Anyways, here I am undocking the pushing vehicle. This is going to go back to Kerbin and pick up those fuel modules after they launch, and just getting out of the way of the station so it's not a bother, and setting up a return trajectory. Now, there's no heat shields on this, so I've got to be careful with my aero braking. If it causes any flame effects, the ship is considered destroyed. I found I could aerobrake at 42,000 meters, even lower, down to nearly 40,000 meters. I could probably go lower than that. I didn't bother. And again, here's another reason I love that maneuver note thing. I just put in 3 for the conics thing, and I just dropped that right down to 42,000 meters. Outstanding. And again, I cut out quite a bit of that, and I took several laps around. I hit it at 42,000 meters, and it slowed me down. I think I had to retro burn a little bit to pull that orbit in, but I pulled it into the maximum eccentricity, and the maximum distance, the maximum apoapsis I could have, and still actually have an orbit. And then did a number of passes as I went by, just passing by at between 40 and 42,000 meters every time. And it took several laps, but it really didn't cost me any fuel. And here I am bringing it down. I'm not sure why I'm lingering on this particular setting so long, but let's see what I've got in mind here. Going to go ahead and set up that Kerbal alarm. Couldn't live without it. All right, here I am. Again, I'm sure this is several laps later. I think I did at least a half a dozen laps to get down to this level. Again, all of them around that 40 to 42,000 meter level. I never got the flame effects on the aero braking. Again, normally you'd come in at, say, 30,000 meters, 30 kilometers, but definitely get the flame effects coming in at interplanetary or even, interlunar speeds. So I come in much higher, so don't get the flame effects. Takes a little bit of fuel during that first pass, and then waste a lot of time as I go pass after pass after pass, bringing it down. Anyways, just circulating my orbit around 125,000 meters before I switch to the launch, the piece de resistance. I still laugh when I see that. That is one tall drink of water. And I've got to wait the 40 some odd days, and here we go. And this is spit up 10,000 times and 4 times, so like whatever, 40,000 times, whatever that works out to be. And on top of that, I want to be able to rendezvous with the pusher, so I'm gonna let that pusher come around. There she is. Again, I don't know why that it looks like a big old sausage with a couple of walnuts down there. I don't know. Anyways, it's doing the launch. And I still laugh. And of course, all those fuel tanks are empty. I think the bottom one, again, does have a few drops of fuel, has some fumes in it, but not enough to really worry about. And it remained surprisingly stable and was very easy to control during the launch process. I'm quite pleased with it and very surprised at the same time. I did have to put struts on it, but that was only to hold the weight of it while it had the fuel on the launch pad before I drained it out. At this point, I'm sure I don't need the struts anymore. But they can't be removed. At this point, so so they're still there. I'm going to go ahead and drop that second set of tanks and do my gravity turn. Again, I like to turn a little bit less than 45 degrees. I turn about 40 degrees or so. And that just has to do with the launch profile of this particular vehicle. It'll stay in at just under 45 degrees right after letting go of that second pair of tanks. Will put me at an altitude of, I think, 35,000 meters when I drop the last pair of tanks. Which is exactly what I'm looking for. It's a really nice launch profile. I think I decided to steepen that just a little bit, get closer to 45 here, but again, just under 45, and then just hit prograde on MechJeb's Smart ASS. So it's not an auto launch. I mean, I'm not just hitting the ascent assist thing and hit and go. But the Smart ASS I just find just so useful. In this case, again, hit prograde. Then again, your ship is naturally tipping over as the prograde marker moves and moves. And again, I'm going for 125,000 meters. I want to rendezvous with that ship you see. That ship you see right there. And I'm not sure what kind of encounter we have there. I don't think I hovered over it. I don't think I cared at this particular point. I'm going to go ahead and just basically worry about getting into orbit and then worry about the rendezvous. It's pretty close. I think I'm probably going to go above 125 for this second section. We'll see what I wind up doing there. 125, 116. Okay, I'm going to get closer to the apoapsis. And it looks like we've got a couple of good encounters already, so I think I timed this one just right. I think this is the first time I've ever actually been able to do that. So go ahead and go into the descending node and normalize that orbit relative to my target. It's only 0.5 degrees, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Yeah, the problem with an episode this long is I've got to talk for another 20 minutes. So, okay, I cut some of that out. I went ahead and switched focus to the pusher once I got close, and the pusher's going to go ahead and do the dock. I think this one's pretty uneventful, and I remember in my early days of playing a Kerbal Space Program, docking was just a chore, just a pain. But I've learned a lot about it. I don't let MechJeb do the docking for me. You can. MechJeb will dock, and it does actually a decent job of docking, pretty reliably anyways. But it uses up an awful lot of our CS doing it. I found using, again, Smart ASS, you click on target, and you've got that PAR plus and PAR minus. PAR minus puts you parallel to your target, facing the opposite direction. So if you do a control from here on the docking port on your ship that you want to dock with, and set your target as the docking port on the target you want to dock with, and do PAR minus, it'll line you up perfectly. Anyways, eventually I do get docked, and once again we've got one really tall piece of spaceship there. That is one long spaceship. I went ahead and got onto sunlight so you guys can see what was going on. I'm transferring the last fuel from the launcher into the pusher. Every last little drop. I need every little bit. You can see my delta V is a little below 2,000 meters per second. Now again, I will get rid of the pusher, so that's going to increase it a little bit. And what getting to Minmus is 850, 900, slowing down, and probably another 150. So we're looking at 11 or 1200. And okay, up to 2272. Let's say get rid of that. There we go. Take a screenshot and back. So we're going to turn prograde. No, retrograde. Turn it around. Come on, 3 martini. There we go. Retrograde. Turn retrograde and let that pusher off. It's got no fuel left. It has plenty of RCS left to deorbit. And I'll show you some of that. Let's come on. Okay, we're retrograde. Go ahead and decouple. Decouple. There we go. Square bracket. We'll swap focus to a nearby ship. Go ahead and turn around, and then again, I don't have no fuel to worry about. I'm just going to go ahead and put my finger on the H key. And let that deorbit. You can see me going down, and I think there we go. I'm going to fade it out a little bit there. Now, that was a pretty harsh transition, but we're back, 97543. It's certainly coming down. I can, again, using just RCS, was able to bring it down into crash it on the surface. Back to the pusher with all those fuel modules on it. Going to go ahead and normalize my orbit. And this took a couple of passes. It's surprising when the payload is so massive compared to the pusher, how much it takes to normalize that orbit. I only had 5 or 6 degrees to go, but it took me 2 or 3 passes to get that taken care of. And by the way, I am 3 martinis in, and I've switched to Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And had a cheap cigar. I forgot the brand. A friend of mine bought it thinking it was a good one, but it's like a $3 cigar. But it's gone out, so I'm going to relight that now while I normalize the orbit. Actually kind of tasty. So I got one more lap to go before that orbit is taken care of. So here we go. Again, love that Kerbal alarm clock. You just set the descending node, wake me up 1 minute beforehand. Just hit ... and blammo, you're there. So I've got. I think I'm going to finish up the normalization on this lap around. We're at 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. And so forth. I always like to do the normalization in front of the node. It's probably less efficient, but I'll get as close as I can and then hit the gas. I'm sure just after the node is just as efficient, but I always do it just before the node. Now, as I said, look at my my thrust to weight ratio is 0.15. So I went ahead and set up an encounter, and my screensaver went on there. Let's see. There we go. I set up an encounter, and you can see there it's set up. It's going to be 10 minutes. So I'll finally, eventually, get this set up. It's 9 minutes and 55 seconds. Now I'm not gonna thrust for 9 minutes and 55 seconds on a single encounter. So what I wind up doing, and most of this is going to be edited out, is I do a 2 minute. Every time I reach a periapsis, I'll do a 2 minute burn. Loop around, do a 2 minute burn, loop around, and I think I cut my periapsis also down to 80 kilometers to get the maximum from the Oberth effect as possible. Here you can see me setting up a 2 minute burn, and I'm going to do 2 minute burn after 2 minute burn, and I think I've got 5 of them, adding up to 10 minutes to get myself into that encounter. But again, 0.15 thrust to a weight ratio. Now I'm going to have to send 2 of these eventually to Duna, and getting rid of 2 of them is not really going to improve the thrust to weight ratio that much on this pusher. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. anyways, I went ahead and I think I zoomed up to the last lap. There we go. Yeah, I think this is the last lap, and it was a little more than 2 minutes, I think, on the last one. Went ahead and again didn't have to wait for all that. Here we go, getting close to the actual encounter. Press tab a few times. Now Minmus is my focus, and I'm going up until I can actually see the Minmus encounter. Oh, there it is. At I didn't really see it that well. Zoom back in. Come on. 3 martini. I think it was 50, 100, 150, something like that. It was a pretty reasonable apoapsis. Once again, Kerbal alarm clock helping me out. Just tell it to wake me up 15 seconds beforehand. Plus dot. And we're on a Minmus encounter. And at 133,000 meters. Okay, it doesn't take much. 155 delta meters per second delta V to pull me in. Once again, Kerbal alarm clock to the rescue. And we'll go ahead and back jab as well to point me to the node and eventually to retrograde and pull that orbit. Come on, pulling that orbit down. Let's see it. Let's zoom in and out of it a few more times. That'll probably be helpful. Nice looking ship. Look at that, man. That's still. Yeah, I love Seda. That is one tall drink of water. Okay, we're bringing that orbit, bring that down. There we go, and pull it in. And I think we're going to pull it in further than what I'd initially planned. Pull it in closer to the Selene space station orbit. No, maybe not. Nope, I think I'm going to normalize first. So once again, back jab to point me to the proper orientation. Kerbal alarm clock to just zoom me up to the place I have to go. And I think I'm going to have a lot easier time normalizing here than I did around Kerbin, mainly because I'm going so much slower. You can see my orbital speed is 90 meters per second as opposed to, I forgot what it was at Kerbin, but only 2,000 meters per second. And for those of you that didn't know, the amount of thrust needed to adjust the inclination of your orbit is directly proportional to your orbital velocity. So the slower you are going, the less fuel it takes to change your inclination, which is why they recommend doing it at your apoapsis if at all possible, because that's where you're going the slowest. And again, I'm going whatever, now I'm going 72 meters per second. So if I had to do it now, it'd be even less fuel. In fact, there's what they call the clock rule. 1/60th of your 1 degree of inclination change takes delta V equal to 1/60th of your orbital velocity, something like that. I think that's the rule. In the event, I'm going to go ahead and circularize, bringing it down, and it's just about a circle. It's going to swap. There it goes. At 52 and 49, almost 50. That's a pretty good orbit got going on there. I'm not sure what happens next. Man, this is a smart looking ship. Sure, I'm going to switch to some other ship. There we go. That's right. We're going to switch back to the Quadrupus. The Quadrupus is going to go ahead and take one of those puppies down to the one of those modules down to the surface. My cigar is just barely staying lit. I'm going to give it one more thing at the lighter here. Okay, I cut out a lot of it. Anyways, the Quadrupus is coming up to the, it's called Pusher 2, but it's actually all those fuel modules. And I had some interesting, if memory serves, I had an interesting experience docking. I'm coming down 30 meters, 25 meters, slowing down, and okay, hold on a second. we run into the ship. What happened there? Okay. Well, no worries. That means we're really close, so we can go ahead and change the orient. Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. And well, ultimately, I think I managed to pull this off. Fortunately, I was going that fast when I ran into the ships. Go ahead and just rotate a little bit. Let's come on and get docking. And I think I'm getting further away. Come on. Let's bring it in a little closer. And again, I love MechJeb for this. I don't do the docking autopilot. But again, using the Smart ASS and occasionally hitting that anti-parallel button and then turning it off and turning SAS on immediately afterwards is extremely helpful. And I think at some point here I unset my target and I didn't realize that, oh no, that's not it. You can't dock there. There's that's no good. All right, get up and let's move it over a little bit. There we go. Okay, now pull it back there we go. Come on. 3 martini. You can do it. And oh, there we go. And eventually we'll come on, get on there. Eventually we'll get docked. Okay, not perfect alignment, but good enough. Not good. Yeah, it's good enough. We'll go ahead and detach that, and let's go ahead and get a clean escape from the space station. I think I wound up bashing it a little bit, but that's okay. We're away. Test that landing gear. Okay, it doesn't knock anything off. Good thing I quick saved beforehand. And I feel a little guilty doing this, and I'm sure it's not that excited to watch. I'm going to let MechJeb land for me. I'm writing down the coordinates, and then go ahead and type them in here, and just hit the land button. And it's kind of nice to be able to do that, because again, kind of suck at landing. Okay, here we go. I cut out most of the landing. Didn't have to sit through that. I went ahead and while it was landing, used the RCS controls to move it just a little bit, because MechJeb will land me right on top of that thing, and I don't want to be there, of course. Now I had one interesting development. I got out of the ship, and you can see I've got those quantum fuel transfer modules on there. And it turns out quantum fuel transfer module doesn't work in 0.21. And I searched high and low, could not find a fix. So what I did is launched a Kerbal attachment system vehicle with a number of these removable attachment points. Now I'm not taking that off of my tonnage allotment, so if you want to call it cheating, you certainly can. However, it actually just makes a bigger hassle for what I was already doing. Anyways, here put the little node on there. Now I've got to go get the cable and put it on there. It's right here some. Oh, don't knock the spaceship over. Okay, there's one lap around the space. Oh, okay, there it is. It's in the dark. Okay, rocket up to it. Jetpack. And okay, and oh no, you dropped it. Come on, get down there, grab that puppy. Okay, now you've got it. Go ahead and attach it. Come on, get over there. And I don't know why he's walking that way, but okay, he's got it attached. Now let's go back, and now this time I was able to grab it somehow, but then you're not tired. Get up. Get up. There's nothing wrong with the. Oh man, old Reginald or whatever his name is, that clearly has been hitting the sauce inside of that lander can. Anyways, eventually he does manage to get up and attach the the other line. So now basically it's all one big ship. I do the fuel transfer, and the whole gizmo there, every single cubic centimeter on that puppy is full of fuel. And you can see I've 1,600 and 85 meters per second of delta V. So let's get off of Minmus, and let's go. No, not that way, not that way. The other way. There we go. There we go. Okay, okay. Hit it. It might be coming a little shallow. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. And we'll see about getting back into orbit. Fortunately, Minmus has extraordinarily low gravity, so that 1600 meters per second delta V will be more than adequate to get me up into orbit. Stretching that puppy out to, I don't know, 45, 50,000 meters. Once again, Kerbal alarm clock will come in invaluable because it's hit, okay, plus, dot, dot, dot. And I think I wind up, I think I'm going to edit here and do a circularize, and I'm going to be able to, no, I guess there is no edit here. Okay, I thought I cut this part out. Anyways, I wind up, circularizing. Oh, yeah, there we go. Set up an encounter that was pretty close. That was within 5 kilometers, close enough. Right off the bat, the inclination isn't perfect, but we'll fix that. All right, come on. I know you're thinking about something. I guess I'm not really sure what I'm. Oh, okay. I went ahead and just, yeah, that's right. 4.9 kilometers. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull that straight in. A couple of time warps later, I'm down to less than a kilometer. Zoomed in pretty close. And the idea here is, if you're on the retrograde side, you're pushing the little reticule away. On the prograde side, you're pulling it towards you. And I'm coming in mighty close, less than 100 meters. And come on, finally get a good view of that, there we go, view of that ship. And we've got a completely full Robomax, I think it's a 32 down there. And I'm going to let it go. I think, eventually, there we go. It's set free. It's going to go ahead and use its ample RCS. It's got 2 of those new extra large 150 unit of RCS fuel tank. You can see them there silhouetted very nicely. And I'll just go ahead and send that on to Selene Station. Selene will now have a full Robomax 32 of fuel. Eventually, as it comes into dock. Ooh, what was that? The moon in the background I saw, or maybe Kerbin. Anyways, docking this was pretty routine. And just lining up the red thingy and the yellow thingy, and there we go, and the orange thingy. Get them all lined up, and blammo, docked. So if you like the video and leave a comment. If you don't like the video and leave a comment. This is 3 Martini out.